My Great Grandmother's Migration Story for Year 6 History Showcase by Elton Loveday. My great grandmother was born on the 19th of August 1933, and she lived in the centre of Cairo City in Egypt, near a huge park and the most famous hotel in Cairo. She lived in an apartment on that street and was also very rich because that she was from a town in Greece called Volos and not from Egypt. It was very common to be rich while Greek in Egypt, so she had two maids, one for cooking and cleaning and one for keeping the kids occupied. She had two kids. One was my grandmother, born in 1956, and one was my great-uncle, born in 1952. My great-grandmother's father also owned a popular bar during World War II, and all the soldiers who fought during World War II came to his bar and grabbed a drink. In 1964, my great-grandmother was going with her family to Sydney, Australia to have a family reunion. They had an uncle, auntie and many more cousins in Sydney. But when they got to Sydney, they decided to stay there more because of how much they loved it so much. But when my great-grandfather tried to get on the ship, there was one problem, that my great-grandfather did not have the right papers and passports at the time because they were all written in French, but Australia only accepted English written passports. So when they got to Australia, my great-grandmother and great-grandfather had to work a different job there. Their job in Egypt was owning a bar and being accountants, but since they got the wrong papers and passports, they had to become factory workers when they got to Sydney. My grandmother was 8 when they migrated, and my uncle was 10. On the way to Sydney, they took a luxurious ship, and they brought only special items like family treasures, clothes, and jewellery. When they got to Sydney, they couldn't speak English well, and not many people spoke Greek at the schools, or in general. In Australia, their other family helped them along the way, but migrants were not 100% accepted at the time, so sometimes it was hard to get to know a new country. There were many different things about Egypt and Australia. In Egypt, it was a bit dirty and it was not as safe as Australia. Australia also looked different. It had much more bushland, and it also had a much more beautiful landscape and coastline. When they got to Australia, they didn't even go to Egypt again. So in 1964, that was the last time they would see their old home. But luckily, there weren't any other relatives of them living in Egypt. They still visited Greece many times because they had lots of family in Greece. My great-grandmother told me she loved Sydney very much because there was no problems that ever happened in Sydney while she was there. And it is beautiful. She also loves Sydney because she is well taken care of, and she is still living at the age of 93, healthy and happy. That is my great-grandmother's migration story for Year 6 History Showcase 2025. Thanks for listening.